Hi, folks. My name is Girish, the host for Back to Basics, another Back to Basics for another week. Today, we're going to talk about Pinterest and the search engines and SEOs and Googles. I mean, those are the words that we'll be using today on this show today. But what is Pinterest? I mean, we usually go to Pinterest to see pictures and DIYs and to see how the gardens are or see how the parties are going to be decorated and what new things that we need to decorate for our home. But Pinterest is really more than that. And this is why I brought this guest of mine today. Her name is Rea. Amazing girl. Amazing person. I spoke with her weeks before coming on here. And then we still chit-chatted even way before the call. Amazing person. So why don't we just call her up? Why don't we ask her questions as to why Pinterest and why not other search engines? And we'll just go from there. And we'll chit-chat and we'll have a nice talk. So Rea, how are you? And thanks for coming to Back to Basics.
Hi, Girish. Thank you for having me on your program.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you again. So before we talk about the search engines and Google's and Pinterest, what does Back to Basic mean to you?
Back to basics for me means back to foundation. Foundation in everything is very important. Like when you build a house, if your foundation is built on sand, it won't be sturdy. The building won't be as sturdy as when you build it in solid rock or so it's the root of everything you're building.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you again for explaining that. And thank you again for coming on the show. Definitely very honored for you to be here. Let me ask you this. I mean, we go to google.com, we go to bing.com and all the other search engines, right?
Hmm.
How is that different than Pinterest, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the show?
Pinterest is a search and discovery platform where a lot of the searches are unbranded compared to Google. People are looking, a lot of times, people are looking for a specific brand on Google. But on Pinterest, they are just looking for the product most of the time. So I think that is a big um, difference. And of course, the visual is a visual search engine. The images are so important. And now they're going into the videos as well. So there, I think that is the main differentiators of the two. I mean, Google is a lot bigger than Pinterest, but um, I think the intention of buying is big on Pinterest because people are planning on something, they go there, they're planning for an event or um, a project that they are going to do. And so they go there and save different things that they need. And then when they're ready to buy, they go back there and actually purchase.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again. You know, me as a photographer and doing photo shoots and video shoots, I mean, I usually go to Pinterest to put a board up to get an idea that, oh, my vision is still okay as compared to others. So I think it's more of a template that I'm using out of a Pinterest, right? And I think
Mhm.
it's a little more than that, as you mentioned, right? So, but how does it handshake between that and why Pinterest is such a huge search engine as compared to Google? Yes, Google is much higher, and Bing is definitely higher. But why Pinterest? Why does Pinterest come under the top three? You know, the top two search engines.
Most of the users on Pinterest are located in North America. Um, Google is, of course, a lot more global than Pinterest is. And for if you are selling something, there's people are getting more sales from the North American users. if that makes sense. And now they are like expanding to Japan. That's what I read, an update that retailers in Japan can advertise now on Pinterest. So that is also the difference on Pinterest. Like it's not the advertising thing is not available to all the countries yet.
Oh,
So
okay. This is something new that I've learned. So you're telling me that Pinterest is basically more on the North America, Canadian side of things versus the global area, and you just
you
mentioned that
are,
Japan is getting there too.
yeah.
So slowly it's just getting wider. Is that what the search engine is going to be?
Yeah, the main users are in North America, so US, Canada. There's some in UK, Australia. A lot more Western users. That makes us on the Western Hemisphere. They are slowly rolling out in other countries, so people, businesses in other countries can use advertising and connect their store on their shops.
Yeah. Thank you again. Is it more? Thank you for answering that question, by the way. So, is
Mhm.
that more creative search engines that we're looking at, like pictures or something like that, or do you think even? I mean, I've seen quotes in there too, right?
Yeah.
So it means that the wider the more the products, the more the images, and more the words, the search engine gets much bigger. Is that how the thought process is?
So on Pinterest, it's because it's a visual search engine, so the pins have images, so those are very important, whether you only have words on it, but it's still like a graphic, an image. And if it's a product, just an image of your product, or if you have a blog post, you have like a graphic with the words on it, the title, or a hook that you want to put on the graphic. So they are they are different. Um, I'm like trying to dissect my answers because your first question here was about how if how different it is from Google, and so I mentioned it before, and also like the users, like the audience that you have are in a different mindset on Pinterest than on Google. So it's there's a lot of big opportunities for e-commerce businesses on Pinterest, and also service providers like coaches and content creators like podcasters and bloggers. Um, so they go there to cast a new audience, to cast a wider net than other search engines.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you again, Rhea, for that. And obviously, this is for everybody, isn't it? Whoever creates a Pinterest account, that's for any businesses, not just a creative mode. Is that right?
Yes, yes. I
So
mean,
let me ask you this: when someone creates a Pinterest account, they have to build a board, correct? And in that board, you're going to have a whole bunch of posts in there. Is that correct, or is that something different?
so first of all, I like to mention this that there's a personal account and a business account. So if you're using it for your business, I highly suggest to use a business account. It's totally free. You just say create a business account so you can have it connected to your website, your property, and you have it claimed. And so Pinterest, attributes your content to your website. So anything that you have your link on, like it will attribute it to your domain. Um, and then you can see your analytics. If you have a business account, if you have a personal, you really can't see those things. So which is important, and you see your numbers, and um, so If you are using it personally, I would suggest to have a personal account for your own searches and then a business account for your business. I mean, there's other people who do both in one account, like it's like a sub account under a personal account, but it sometimes messes up the numbers. So I would separate them. And
So you're saying when you have a business account and you do business and personal both, can you not have two separate boards in Pinterest to have two separate numbers and two separate analytics between that? Or
the
that's not how
personal
it works?
account don't you the personal account doesn't give you access to analytics. So that's why the business account is better if you're using it for your business, because then you can see those numbers. Um, the boards, you can have different boards on each account. So you have boards in your personal account and you have boards in your business account. But if you only want one account and you also have a business, I'd rather have you use a business account. And if you are using that same business account for personal use, you can definitely do that, but you just hide the board as a secret one so it's not public.
Yeah, thank you again. And for listeners and viewers, if can you explain what does boards mean? I mean, obviously, I went ahead of the game on that part. Can you explain to people what does board mean when it comes to Pinterest world? If you
Hmm. So a board is like a shelf in your dresser, it's or a drawer. Like if you have a dresser, you are trying to organize your clothes. So you have a drawer for your pants, a drawer for your shirts, a drawer for your underwear, for your hats. It's for organization. So each board or each drawer is relevant to one specific topic.
Yeah, thank you, thank you again for explaining that in a simple way for the drawers and the clothing division for that. Now, when you search something for references for yourself and you pin it on your board, does that go away eventually, or does that stay there forever till that board is deleted?
It stays there as
Okay.
long as you want it to be
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. So, how often do you go on Pinterest for your references, or
For
for
my own account,
yeah?
I check them. I actually have different accounts. I have one for this business, the Pinterest marketing one, and then I
Mm.
have one for we have like a coffee niche site. So I do that. But since I have clients as well, and I prioritize their accounts. So sometimes I neglect some of my personal accounts. Just to be honest, I'm a very busy mother as well. So,
Of course, of
so
course.
when I do my work, I of course prioritize my clients' accounts. They were well taken care of before my own accounts.
Yeah, thank you again. Is Pinterest a marketing tool, or is it just a searching tool for finding other resources?
It's a marketing tool. It's a search engine and a marketing tool. Like you can advertise there.
Hmm.
You can do organic marketing and you can do a paid one.
Hmm. But
If you're in
how
a location.
but how useful is it, this marketing tool? Obviously, when we hear a marketing tool, the first thing in everyone's mind is Google ads or Facebook
Mhm.
ads or XYZ marketing tool, right? But Pinterest, I think nobody really thinks of, even though that it might be free, but then there might be some paid advertisement for Pinterest also. What are your thoughts on that mindset of everyone's?
So it depends on your business, right? I wouldn't say everybody is good for Pinterest. Like there's definitely some business that is just not as good. Like if you have like a local coffee shop or something, that's different, like or a local restaurant that's uh, um, not, you can be on Pinterest, but I don't think it would be as effective as if you have like an online um, business. Um, I do have an account that I am managing. It's a real estate. It's a luxury real estate property, so it's for rent, for vacation. But they also have a lot of like destination events, or they're open for that, and they have a blog. They have a content bank, so that would work for Pinterest. And it's like an Airbnb property. So uh, it's I think the really good thing with Pinterest is that because people are not looking for specific brands, if you are a new business or a new brand that's, you're building your brand awareness and you are there, it's good to make your name, you know, like you advertise your business for free the beginning there, because they're not really looking for big brands like Target or something. uh,
Yeah.
so it's good for small businesses when they start. Um, and Pinterest advertising is newer than other platforms, so it's has a better, I would say, um, I guess your cost, because it's a newer platform for advertising. So mm, that's the difference too as well. So when paid marketing is a good start there too, especially if you want to build and like and a list, an email list, and you can run an ad that is very cost effective.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much, Rhea, for that. Let me ask you this: um, what are the pros and cons when it comes to Pinterest? Do you have like one or two points that you want to point out? Because I don't want people to think that Pinterest is the way to go when it comes to marketing. There
Hmm.
has to be some disadvantages and some advantages to this product,
Okay.
right? So what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that? And you've used a lot of it. I mean, I've heard you many, many times. So what are your thoughts on these pros and cons?
Let's start with a con. So it is a long strategy, marketing strategy on Pinterest. If you are there, you're gonna be there for the long haul. So you're not gonna expect results like in a few weeks or even a couple months. You need to be there with a mindset that uh you're you're planting seeds, you're building your foundation, you know, make it strong, and then as time goes by, then you get a bigger audience. You're building your foundation stronger, so you have a more reliable building. So it's the way I think about it is even like when you have a new website, you don't get visitors right away. You don't Google doesn't know your website right away. It has to be indexed. They have to know what it is about what you're offering and what quality of content do you have on that. It's the same thing on Pinterest. You want the search engine to understand those things, and it takes time for them to get that you know information. And so they're going to start showing your content more once they actually understand who you are and what you're offering, and if it's a quality content that they can offer to their people.
So does that mean that the information that Pinterest has, they hand it off to Google, so it's a hand in hand?
They do come hand in hand, because sometimes Pinterest pins are come up on Google search results. But I'm saying that because if you go to Pinterest, you need to have a mindset that you are going to search engines. So it will take time for you to build your your awareness there, because especially if you're just starting, you're beginning, and so you need to prepare your mind that you you don't expect things to blow up like in a weeks or in a couple months.
Yeah, thank you again for explaining that. When it comes to search engines and Pinterest and Google and everything else, right? There are two words that everyone keeps on talking about, and I want you to clarify if you don't mind.
Hmm.
SEO is one of them, and tags is another. But some
Hmm.
people they say that SEOs and tags are kind of not important, but then some people they say it is important. Or some people they say that the naming convention of your titles and your words needs to be searchable. So I mean,
Hmm.
there are like two, three questions in there. So what are your thoughts on that?
So yes, search engine optimization. So how do you do SEO? Pinterest SEO is different from Google SEO. Um, when you think of SEO, the first thing that comes to our mind is keywords, like the words that the users are using when they search for something. So that is very important on Pinterest. So when you go there, you have to know your keywords and what are you targeting. There's many keywords, and you have to know which ones are more effective for your things, for your content, for your products, and who you are targeting. You have to know who your people are to find them. So on that platform, so you need to do your research. You put on, that's part of the basics. The keywords are the basics too on Pinterest, and of course your images. So there's optimization for like the size of the images, and you know a lot of people are using their phones, so they're using the apps. So you have to make sure that your words are actually readable when they go through their phones. So some of it are very basic to actually remember that. So when you create something, you have to check on your phone if you can see the thing clearly. Can you read it? Is the font, easy to read? Is the image clear enough to see? And so you are optimizing it for the search engine and for the users. So it's the same as Google too. They want the uh, user um, experience really good. So
Yeah, thank you again. Like a person who's starting their first time on business, right? And they want
mhm.
to get their optimization correct, right? And they're searchable correct by the correct tags, the keywords, as you mentioned earlier. But is there a certain website that they can just look at and see these are the things I need to do to correct it? And then who do I need to contact to make this fix happen?
Yes, you can go to Pinterest website. They have pinterestbusiness.com. They have different information there. And another place that I go to is there. If once you have a business account on Pinterest, you can be a part of the Pinterest business community. So they have threads there where people ask different questions, and sometimes Pinterest employees would respond. So there are people, so you get firsthand knowledge from them, and then they also they work with different. They have partnered with different businesses like Shopify, WooCommerce. So they have information there as well. So if you are using those platforms, you could go to their website and see what they say and what you do. And yeah, there's a lot of instruction on the Pinterest business.com and how to use it. And um, another place that sometimes I would go to is the tailwind.com. It's they have different blogs about Pinterest there. Just a note that Pinterest is evolving, so you have to make sure you're reading the most up to date blogs or articles if you're going to a website that's outside Pinterest business. So, um, and I am a part of a monthly membership for Pinterest marketers, so Pin Potential. So I am regularly updated with the changes that the platform makes. So that's something that I invest in. So, and the person also has some direct contact with some Pinterest representatives. I just remembered you mentioned about tags. Tags are different from keywords. Tags on Pinterest are like a coding that you put on your website.
Right, right.
So,
That's
yeah,
correct. I mean, I'm just saying because when we see searchable engines, right,
yeah.
and consumers they think of keywords and tags and all the fun stuff, and you explained it correctly on that. So thank you again for that. And I guess that's one of the reasons why you prefer to have a business account versus a personal account because it gives you more advantage when it comes to business accounts. Correct?
Yes. So once you have a business account, they will ask you to claim your website. They'll ask you to put your tag on. You can do it. They have an instruction when you go to their settings. So you you have they will give you the code to put on your site. Or if you are on a partner, an approved partner like Shopify and WooCommerce, all you need to do is you download the the plugin on your
Hmm.
website, and it actually does it for you. You
Awesome.
don't have to do it manually.
So, well, yeah, thank you again for answering all the questions when it comes to Pinterest. I've just started a new segment on Back to Basics, and now the question I have is there a book that you're reading that you want to share? The which book is good for everyone to read? I mean, it could be about Pinterest, it could be about SEO, it could be business, or even a self help book that you resonated for this week
Um,
or this month for that matter.
yeah. Uh, I personally, I like a book. I just look at my phone because I have
Sure,
my
sure, sure,
I
sure.
forgot. I need to make sure my title is correct. I read books on my phone now because it's less clutter.
Sure.
I do like a physical book sometimes if I don't want to be on my phone. Um, Let me see. I have different books here. Uh, for personal, I like the book None Like Him by Jen Wilkins
Hmm.
because um, it just talks about how God is different from us and
Hmm.
how we approach Him should be different as well. And so it helps me in my walk with the Lord and my walk with God. So
Of course.
it helps, that is my top priority is also my spiritual needs
Of
is
course.
is met. And when it comes to business, I haven't really read a lot of books, like completely. I would just scan through.
Sure, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
uh,
thank you. Thank you again for explaining, what book you're reading, and hopefully I'll take a look at it and skim through it too myself, because
yeah,
I would like to understand from my guests that what they're reading, so then others can be on the same journey as you are. So thank you
yeah.
again for answering that question. But before you leave today from Back to Basics, do you have any last words for all my listeners and my viewers? And how was your journey on Back to Basics too? On top of that,
Okay. So I I I have started this business web marketing project, and it's a Pinterest marketing service business. So if you have any questions about Pinterest, you can contact me through my email. It's info@webmarketingproject.com, or you can go to my website, webmarketingproject.com, and my social handles. It's the same with Instagram and Clubhouse. It's Rea_Pinner, because I do pin a lot, almost every day. um, my team and I are doing this for our clients. It's like a done for you service, but I also do consultations, like our strategy session if you want to do it yourself and you want to do it correctly. And I also have for like a setup, it's like a VIP kind of service where it's a one and done service where I help you set it up, and then you get a strategy call with me. So you know what to do after I hand over the account to you. So right now I am booked with my management, but I am open for consultation and the VIP service that I offer. So
Yeah, thank you again, Rhea, and thanks for coming to Back to Basics, for explaining what you do and what you're doing also for others to help. I guess people like me or people like any consumers who are totally lost when it comes to Pinterest and how to improve ourselves to be known to others when it comes to businesses, and the reasons and the disadvantages and advantages when it comes to Pinterest also that you have explained. So thank you again, Rhea, for coming here and making me much knowledgeable when it comes to Pinterest. So thank you again for coming here.
sure, thank you for having me, Girish, and it's
Thank
my
you. Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you. And we'll keep on talking offline for sure when it comes to the other platforms that we're usually connected on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, guys, we spoke with Rhea today and we talked about Pinterest and we talked about the marketing tool. Now, yes, there are disadvantages and advantages when it comes to Pinterest. We're not saying that's the best searchable tool in the world, but it is definitely useful. Why don't we use it? One key thing that I've learned is why use personal? Why not business? Because it'll give you some analytics as to what demographic or what people are searching and which product that they're looking for. So then you can be more brighter as to make those products much, much more visible versus the other ones. I mean, that's just the analytics, right? Now, as usual, as always, there's a quote of the day from Back to Basics, and hopefully my guest will like the quote. The quote is, you can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have, right? Because you want to be more creative when it comes to searchable marketing tools, right? And just use it as much as you can, because it does help you at the end of the day. It'll give you good cold nuggets too on top of that. Now, as usual, as always, what do we always say at the end of the episode? Everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and keep on commenting on all my episodes, because I do release every day. With your comments, it makes me stronger day by day and week by week. And the three things, including this episode, makes me the hittest episode ever, which is the content, the guest, and definitely the host. Guys, take care, God bless, and I will see you next time on Back to Basics. Take care, God bless.
Next week's episode on
with
Back
you
to Basics.
to actually focus on the basics and to remove the complexity. So I think some of the job of a creator and a leader, in essence, it is to enable the people working with you to do their job best and remove the complexity. So in essence, I think I say all of that to say that I think back to the basics, it's focusing on what matters. So for example, at Wisdom, our North Star metric is conversations that matter. So whenever we have a business or something that we need to prioritize, within Wisdom, we can always take it back to, well,